This line graph maps sexual activity over a lifetime. Up top, we see a steady, unbroken baseline representing the 26% of couples who remain intimately active well into their 80s. But below that is a sharp, massive drop-off. This captures the reality for millions of women who abandon intimacy entirely between the ages of 40 and 50. Look closely at the mechanics of that drop-off. It usually begins with the trap of residual intimacy, the belief that physical connection belongs at the very bottom of the daily to-do list, occurring only when there happens to be leftover time and energy. When sex operates strictly on depleted energy, couples stop prioritizing the study of their own biology. Superficial awareness leads directly to predictable routines, and eating the exact same meal for a decade eventually turns physical connection into a monotonous chore. That monotony creates a biological roadblock. When a woman's needs aren't engaged, she doesn't reach climax, leaving her with physical discomfort and a heavy pelvis. Over time, that physical frustration triggers a subconscious disgust response, which can paralyze a couple's intimate life for months. Avoiding that drop-off isn't an accident of youth, it is an actively cultivated practice. To sustain desire through the decades, a woman manages 3 interconnected spheres of connection: the self, the partnership, and the legacy. We start in the center sphere, mastering the self. Sexual health requires a functional physical vessel. If you aren't getting 7 to 8 hours of disciplined sleep or maintaining a strong cardiovascular system through regular exercise, your vascular network cannot produce the arousal required for pleasure. This split anatomical diagram highlights the 70% cognitive rule. As the gauge fills, it shows that the female orgasmic response is a cognitive process. Physical touch matters, but the majority of the response originates in the brain. When that mental space is overloaded with domestic stress and work emails and daily worries, it acts as a total block to arousal. A distracted mind cannot achieve the state of meditative immersion required for physical release. Overcoming this means developing the active skill of subordinating the body to the head. It requires intentionally turning off the outside world and building a mental bridge to pure sensory presence. Relying on intuitive guesses to find that presence rarely works. Eradicating ignorance means reading the professional literature and treating your own physical pleasure as a subject worthy of serious study. Expanding to the second sphere, we look at the partnership itself. Men and women typically operate on different biological timelines. A man often enters the hunter role, reaching arousal and climax in a matter of minutes, while a woman's body moves at a slower, more gradual pace. Specifically, a woman usually requires a 10 to 15-minute warm-up period, followed by direct stimulation. Ignoring that required threshold leaves her unsatisfied and can make rushed intimacy feel like subtle coercion. Diversity prevents emotional withdrawal. In long-term relationships, a predictable routine leads to stagnation, making variety a biological necessity for growth. This microscopic view shows the chemical payoff of prioritizing mutual satisfaction. During climax, the body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and these molecules rapidly snap together to form a resilient, unbreakable structure. This chemical release provides emotional cohesion. For the male partner, witnessing that satisfaction reinforces his commitment and makes him feel heroic. For the woman, it provides deep, restorative emotional nourishment. Every act of mutual pleasure and every shared meal makes a deposit into the relationship's vault of trust. Over time, those daily deposits build the absolute safety necessary to maintain deep spiritual and sexual fidelity. This environment of safety provides the foundation for focused expertise. A small fraction of women, roughly 1%, choose to treat intimacy as a craft, mastering specific techniques and physiological responses that go beyond the ordinary. Possessing this specialized knowledge makes a partner irreplaceable. It creates a healthy, continuous relational tension that ensures the connection is never taken for granted. Ownership of one's own sexuality removes the shame usually associated with the topic. By becoming an expert in their own physiology and the ethics of pleasure, a woman gains the vocabulary and confidence required to guide her family through a complex digital world. Rather than letting children stumble into the distorted realities of internet pornography, a sovereign mother provides accurate, age-appropriate education rooted directly in her family's values. Her own education and comfort with her body act as a protective shield for her children. By speaking openly, she empowers the next generation to understand their maturing biology and safely set strict consent boundaries for themselves. It is time to discard the framework of intimacy as a marital obligation or a domestic chore squeezed in at the end of a tiring day. When understood correctly, your physical connection is a profound source of personal energy. It fuels your role as the emotional architect, spiritual center, and energetic pulse of your entire home. That energy creates a visible generational cascade. A fulfilled, sexually vibrant woman implicitly teaches her daughters what genuine confidence looks like, while showing her sons exactly how to respect and cherish feminine energy. Shed the shame of ignorance and prioritize your physical vessel. By stepping into this sovereign role at the center of your family, you prove that lifelong intimacy is a profound act of love for yourself, your partner, and your entire lineage.
The electronic version of all chapters from the full book, She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain, can be found at wishforlove.org.